Hello, happy Monday. 2-5 Sports Reports is ordered. Here today, later on, coming at you with the AFC East preview and some Trey Lance reaction. But for the time being, I wanted to talk about Arizona State for a second. Now, I know you might be a little confused by the banner there saying NCAA does it again because it was Arizona State who actually punished themselves, but there's a reason for this. So, as I'm looking back at this, Herm Edwards, former head coach of the Sun Devils, committed some recruiting violations during COVID. Had people coming in person when they weren't supposed to in those windows, got the school in trouble. Now, the athletic director, Mr. Ray Anderson, who has been in place since 2014, got an extension that went into effect that same year that carries him through 2026, even though he was in place at the time that this went down. He was the one that hired Herm Edwards, his good buddy. So, with that being said, Arizona State comes out today and says that they're going to put a 1-year bowl ban on themselves to hopefully get some leniency from the NCAA in whatever punishment may be coming. One, why is the investigation still even? Why is it even going on? Why is it not wrapped up? Why is it not concluded yet? Meanwhile, I look at Tennessee, who had Jeremy Pruitt as their head coach. You know the story, 18 recruiting violations, a bunch of level ones, direct payments proven to go from Pruitt to recruits. And they got off with an $8 million fine and him being punished directly with a 6-year show cost, which just basically means that he has to serve some kind of suspension if anyone hires him within the next 6 years, which I don't even know if that's going to happen. But anyway, back to Arizona State. So now we're in the transfer era, the transfer portal. And now you have all these new players coming into Arizona State who are going to be punished now that had nothing to do with what Herm Edwards was doing. Kenny Dillingham as the head coach, who wasn't even on Herm Edwards' staff. So this is not a situation where we got the news of something happening within a season. Kenny Dillingham is the assistant and he moves up into the interim spot or into the head coach spot just for stability purposes. He was in Oregon at the time. He just became the head coach this season. This is his first year. So now he has to go, talk to his players about how they can't go to a bowl game. Now, granted, some people out there in the world, like 2-5, didn't think that Arizona State was going to go to a bowl game anyway. So, to some degree, you question the authenticity of this punishment, taking it on the chin when they know that they weren't going to be very good this year anyway. But it's a catch-22. You either punish the players that are there now, or you kick the can down the road. NCAA lays down the hammer 2-3 years from now, and now you're punishing people that were 5 years removed from the situation. But somehow, through all this, Ray Anderson still has his job. Now, you would think that from a university standpoint, they would come down the hardest on him as the president who hired this guy. This is a COVID violation. So you would think that with all the hysteria and, punishments that were going on due to COVID everywhere else in the world, you would think that he would have had blood on his hands, if you will, and they would have got rid of him to make the situation better. Because what's the sense of the bowl ban if the NCAA is going to come back during their investigation to see that the overboss is still in place? So what did you actually learn in this situation? But somehow, as always, it's always the kids taking it on the chin, so to speak.